rather goes down to the souls of the departed. It's a situation that nobody anticipates, but it can happen at any point in time. A very good morning to you and welcome to Standpoint, the saint of all talks of politics. Today, Monday, being the 29th day of April 2024. My name is Moses Ben. Yes, a lot of events played out over the weekend, which we will take analysis on these issues this morning. But the critical one at this point in time, though it's been there, is about the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. Of course, that project was conceived not just yesterday. If you have been following that development that resulted also to the East-West Road construction, what about the railway project also still within the dream of the then President Olusegun Obasanjo? So that will form our focus as we will be discussing this issue on Standpoint this morning. Incorruptible Sam, a very good morning to you. It's good to see you in this great week again. Welcome to Standpoint.
Definitely. Good morning to you also, Moses Ben. Brand new week. Yeah, weekend is always a very, very big one. Yeah, it might just be short, Saturday, Sunday, but it's big because a lot happens, during the weekend. And the good ones, the bad ones, even the ugly ones. Yeah, in Rivers State, we recorded the ugly one. It's a sad one, actually. It's a sad one. Yes. When you're at home, you pray, or when you're in your house, you pray. You ask God, okay, as you're leaving the house today, guide, protect. Yes, He will do that. But also as humans, I keep saying it, praying is okay. But there are some things we need to do that at that moment, it's not prayer. You just need to do it. If you fail to do it, the ugly result will come out, and I don't think you want to blame God for that. Tracing this issue, yes, we always hear of tanker, having issues, getting bond.
But that of Port Harcourt was a different case altogether. If you know, you've been in Port Harcourt
yes,
for a number of years. That element exists. The condition of that particular exit is something. And I wonder why the government has been, though reconstruction has been there, construction is ongoing as we speak. But if things like this don't happen, you don't see the response or the reactory measure. Okay, let us try to fix this thing that is not good.
We always react. We don't act. We react. That's the problem we are having. I don't know. Fubara was there alongside the deputy. Now going there, we condemn. You see them coming up with big grammars. At the end of the day, can we now avoid it? Are we going to avoid it or wait for it to happen again? We'll come out to condemn, give journalists something to talk about. It will be nice one day, Ben Moses, that we just come on Standpoint and we are looking at nothing to talk about. We just have fun for the 1 hour.
Or you use that time to praise.
You understand?
To give encomiums, to pour encomiums on people and our leaders.
A lot of things to talk about. Now this one is a headline. It's a trending one. Can't we just wake up one day and say, there's nothing to talk about too. Nigeria is okay. The leaders are doing well. Well, then we use it to say, okay, fine. More like scorecard. We'll score them. It's so sad. The LMA exists. When I was in Port Harcourt, I don't like that environment for me. My spirit doesn't like being around there. See, if you're dropping me, if I'm coming from anywhere and you want, instead of you dropping me at that LMA junction or axis, let me get to Oyemere. I will feel comfortable when I get to Artillery. First Artillery, second Artillery. That's where you will even be. You can be standing. They snatch anything from you. That place is lonely, and for me, a place I don't like being around. Issues like this, can't we just, if it is bad road, can't we just settle, do this thing? The governor rushed down there alongside the deputy Ngozi Odu. Now tomorrow we'll still be crying over same thing. It is a problem. Like I said, let it get to the point where we'll come here one day and have nothing to talk about. But I don't know if it is possible in Nigeria, because the leaders, they see it as, if they are not giving us something to talk about, negative, positive, that they are not doing well. Our president is somewhere in Saudi Arabia representing us.
He has left the Netherlands.
A lot to talk about. He's giving us content from there. Anyway, good morning.
You cannot take the responsibility of the president off his shoulders, Sam. He has to do what has to be done. That's just the truth of the matter.
Doing
if it's
what?
about representing the country
Talking.
economically, he does that.
Ben, what he's doing is talking.
It's
He's
within
not
his
doing
responsibility.
anything.
I'm not trying to defend the president
Yeah,
at this
he's just
point,
talking.
but we can set the discussion straight that the president is doing his job.
Talking.
If you were in that position, you would have done a similar thing.
Talking. He
Representing the country, trying to projecting the economy of the country.
Economy of the country. If we should bring it that part now, if you should take it that way.
Remember yesterday,
Since the removal of the subsidy, what has happened?
Yesterday in Riyadh, they said that of course it was a difficult decision, but the removal of fuel subsidy was very, very substantial and paramount, so that Nigeria will not go into bankruptcy.
Are we not into that already?
Don't you think that he's solving the problem?
By how?
Oh, of course, there are promises that very soon the Port Harcourt refinery will start functioning. Production will be up.
Promises, you said. We have not seen any. Since that day he took the microphone and said, subsidy gone. By now, someone that is serious. He said, if I happen to be in his position, Ben Moses, if I happen to be in his position, and till now, no refiner, not even one that belongs to Nigeria, has started functioning, I would have resigned.
As a president,
yes, I would have walked away.
You spent billions for the election,
yes,
and you would have resigned.
I would have walked away. For how many months now? Getting to 1 year.
You are really, really incorruptible.
Yes.
I see.
I would have walked away.
I have seen the incorruptibility.
But he's still there. Instead, channeling all energy to Dangote refinery, a private-owned refinery. You're still going out there talking. You're bankruptcy. What has you done? What have you done with the money? Instead, you channel the whole thing to the governors, enriching the governors the more.
So should we not be attacking our governors also? Fine, removal of subsidy.
Who gave them the money?
And then the allocation to state also has increased. How many times now it has
made
increased?
A very big mistake.
Substantially, it has increased. Therefore, it belongs around the governor to ensure that they channel this money to necessary quarters in their states.
If you're a good
For
leader,
example, the issue of palliative, though, is not a good concept at all. But what has the governor done? Governors done in this regard?
That is why
we
the
cannot
president
count up to 5 or 6 states that the governors have been doing best well in that regard.
That means the president wasted the whole thing. I don't have issue. I know.
We don't have to blame the governors.
The governors who gave them the money.
Allocation has increased.
Who gave them the money? Why should we even give these guys the money, the governors the money, to do what? You want to help Nigeria. You have removed the fuel subsidy. You have the money now. If at all the president, had the people in mind, you ask questions. When will you get to the point where before you take any decision, you go in our senators and House of Rep members, they are not even representing? Okay, the money is there now. What do we do with it? Without even being told, the president should have known that getting our refineries working was what everybody wanted. Now, do you know that fuel is scarce? Listen to Igoyan Baba this morning.
Stations that have not been selling in
Lagos State, everywhere.
Even in Umaya, even in Abia State.
One refinery working would have just solved some of these things. Instead, you gave the money to the governors. That's failure upon failure from the president. And he knows that.
Well, seeing that, we should also set our eyes on our state governors for the fact that their allocation has increased also. What are they doing with it as a matter of fact? I know that has also affected their security votes as a matter of fact. Nobody is talking about it. Nobody is mentioning that.
I'm not holding briefs to them. I've said it over and over. Some of the biggest issue we have in Nigeria, actually, the governors caused them. I know. Now, why are you giving them more money since you know that they have failed? Why? That's why I'm blaming the president.
I will come down to this line of discussion this morning also. Aiko Bonaya, a very good morning to you. Good to have you this week on Standpoint also. It was a disaster down there in Kogi State, or Kenya precisely. About 19 souls were lost to the scene of accident down there in Kogi State. These are things that we don't actually expect, but these things happen.
Yes, my brother. Good morning. In fact, I was just looking at both of you as if I'm watching film. Because the truth is that I'm looking forward to when we'll come here and we'll be celebrating milestones.
All right.
You understand? We'll be mentioning this governor, that public office holder, and we'll just be praising him for leaving legacies. It's very sad for us to come here and talk about how lives have been wasted. Being wasted as if it's chickens that are dying. It's very sad. The Port Harcourt issue, as you guys have rightly said, is very painful. It's very colossal. The damage is something else. I mean, sometimes I wonder, how will government recover Or how will the victims recover from all this colossal waste?
And then the governor came up to say that they should look at number of persons that were involved for him to know what to do in terms of
you're talking about
how much
over 70
vehicles and
over
about 5 lives that went into that.
And then look at Kogi, always in the bad news. Look at Kogi. You know, sometimes go and check, they might even be running away from herdsmen. You know, it's possible because that's their heaven. That is where they have quarters. They are doing well there, and of course because of this recklessness on the part of our drivers. You know, I don't know why our people would not want to be very careful about how we manage our lives. There's wahala all over the place. As my brother rightly said, though, I do not see any reason why the president should be gallivanting. For me, he's just gallivanting. What is the minister for external affairs there for? Do you understand? You have people you have appointed into these positions. What are they there for? Are they not supposed to go and represent the interests of the country? How many times do you hear that the president of the U.S. is in this country, that country? You know, just anywhere there is any occasion, Nigerian president will be the first to jump into the plane and go there. When you have people that you have appointed into these positions,
is it not an act of representation?
No, as an instance. These are the bastions of democracy. Every time you hear Tony Blinken in one country or the other, he is the Secretary of State for External Affairs. He's always representing the country. Before the president will come in, it will be like where the big masquerade is coming in. Do you understand? It should be such that when the president of the country is coming in, okay, after he must have exhausted all other avenues, now let the president, as a big masquerade, come in and settle the matter. That is the position of these, political appointees. Do you understand? They are there to represent the country. They are there to stand in for the country, not for the president to be jumping plane every now and then, going from one country to the other. And at the end of the day, we don't see the rub-off. It's not rubbing off on our economy. It's not rubbing off on our economy. Not at all. We are still derided. We are still treated the way we are being treated because we have not gotten it right. So I just pray we can come here one day and talk about milestones. You know, celebrate people for what they're supposed to do. But every day we come here, we lament, we cry. It's very sad, honestly.
All right, the best way we can deliver this message is that we have to keep doing this to ensure that as a leader, one that has taken his mind off the issue of governance would understand, okay, seriously, that the people are keenly into what we are doing. Joining us this morning on Standpoint, as we speak, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project has been on. And then a lot of controversies around this particular project at this point in time in our dear country, Nigeria, have surfaced. Rather, people are saying that it will consume a lot of resources. And then others are saying, of course, you have to see the good part or the good angle of that particular project. We have joining us this morning to look at this issue also on Standpoint. Of course, the public affairs analyst and executive director, Data Desk for Social Development, Udo Chukwu. A very good morning, sir. And thank you for joining Standpoint today. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ben.
You're welcome. It's good to have you join Standpoint this morning.
It's always my pleasure.
All right. The federal government has begun the demolition of properties affected by the right-of-way on the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road construction. This particular project is a laudable one, as a number of persons have said. And then also there are persons who have been saying that, well, it's not coming at the right time. The 700 million, I beg your pardon, 700 meters Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project, of course, designed to connect coastal states such as Ogun State, Ondo, we have Delta there, Edo, River State, and even Akwa Ibom State. 1.something trillion naira has already been injected into this project of about 15 trillion naira. If you look at it side by side, it's almost above half of the 2024 Nigerian budget. And that's, by the way, the issue of compensation has come in because a lot of things, damages would take place for this project to be achieved. If I can remember clearly, this project was not conceived yesterday. It's been there. But what do you make of this move? Also, by the federal government, considering about 15 trillion naira that will go into this project, and also damages that will be done, looking at the marine angle of it, people's culture, way of life, because it is cutting across about 9 states. Let us have your reaction on this one this morning.
Okay, thank you very much. There are 3 fundamental questions I asked when I first read about this project and how much it's going to cost. The first one is the procurement process, the pricing. This is 700 kilometer, coastal highway, valued at 15.3 trillion. That will give you about 4.9 billion per kilometer. That's almost 5 billion naira per kilometer. Nigeria has a procurement act. There was never a time this project was advertised that would allow open bidding. What we saw is a company whose owner has have been said to have a long relationship with the president, and has not anywhere in their history done a project of this magnitude. So the question arises as to how the selection process was done. What informed the choice of this company to execute this is a fundamental question.
Are you trying to say there is no? Are you trying to say there is no sincerity on the part of the government in terms of this selection process? Because I understand it should be competitive.
It should be competitive, and it wasn't. We have more competent hands within the sector that can handle this project. We don't know where they have handled such project that can give us confidence that this one will not be another failed project. That is one fundamental question. The second one, and you mentioned it earlier when you started, is environmental and social concerns. The Honorable Minister said, the Minister of Works, Omar, he said arrangements are being made to compensate property owners along that part's highway. Now remember, this highway will pass, as you said, 9 states. That means hundreds, if not thousands, of communities will be affected. As good as this may bring, development to these communities, but when you talk of compensation, understanding how this, government across Nigeria work, there is, grave concern about what the government call compensation. If you use World Bank environmental and social standard, they don't even call, say you should relocate. What that standard demands that you should resettle. So if anybody is living in a, say, 2-bedroom flat, and you want to relocate that person to make way for the project, you must consider the social, even spiritual, environmental, and other impacts on that individual. So you're not just going to relocate someone, you must resettle. Resettle is different from relocation, which means you must provide at least the standard at which that person is living before the relocation. But when I hear that they were going to pay compensation, I get worried because there is no assessment with nobody. I don't think those communities were properly carried along. So they just saw their community on the map through which that road will pass, and suddenly they are being asked to accept compensation. It is worrisome.
You will continue, please. When you said that the issue of compensation is not something that will come to the limelight. We've seen government projects that cut across people's property and what have you. But at the end of the day, these things also we are paid for. Compensation we are carried out. Of course, the case of Abia State, the Osa Road construction, there were these stories that, okay, government would actually compensate those that would be affected. And it did happen. So would this of federal government, this laudable project, be a different case altogether if you are taking that position?
The example you just gave is maybe within a very busy commercial city of Umuahia or Aba. So when you when you consider this coastal highway, it cuts across people's communities, villages. It impacts their heritage, their socio-cultural heritage. The example you cited is just people building houses. If it is destroyed, you can easily compensate them. The depth of this compensation we are talking about here is beyond monetary compensation. Some people will be moved far away from probably where they had lived and grown, and have some level of attachment to that environment. So when you talk of compensation, you're going to dole out money to them, it doesn't make up for all the things they're going to lose. And that's why I'm saying adequate or comprehensive analysis or assessment of this project on environmental and social life of these people, we are not properly conducted. There is no such report. If there is any, you can point me to. I have searched and see if that even conversation will arise in that direction. But he casually said they were going to be compensated. And I'm yet to see the depth of compensation they are talking about. So what they're going to do is to look at people who have maybe buildings or properties along that path and give them money. But it's beyond that. People's lives are beyond where their buildings are. That is where I am worried. And that's just the second worry or the second question. And another fundamental question that arises for me is funding. You remember 2024 budget for this ministry is about 890 billion. If you consider other sources, maybe roughly 1 trillion. The minister said this project will last for 8 years.
8 years, yes.
That means on the average it will be 1.9 trillion per annum. So I'm worried about the funding. Nigeria has littered highway projects uncompleted, abandoned. You remember the East-West Road? For how many years now? That project has been lingering. The problem is funding, and they have started this one now. So where will the funding come from? I'm worried if this project is not sustainable, then it is not affordable. As good as it sounds on paper, we need to be very sure that the federal government has concrete plans that can, sustainably fund this project.
Do you think
is a key issue?
Yeah, do you think it will really be a problem? Because the minister had said that, look at this project will be about it's all about a counter-funding basis and not the normal public-private partnership. Considering the stand of the minister, don't you see a huge preparation for this, for the execution of this project financially?
I'm worried. I'm seriously worried how they are going to finance it. First, the project did not follow due process, so it's a concern. Whenever they are going to borrow money now, I hope it will serve the best interest of Nigerians, because if the intent is to provide this facility, they wouldn't give it to a company that has no history of delivering such projects of this magnitude. So if no matter how much you pump into this project, if that company lacks the capacity, then it will be a wasted resources. And again, if you're going to borrow money, it will be on interest. So the real cost of this project is not just 15.3 trillion, remember. The real cost, when you do proper analysis, it will be more than that. And when you compare it to other projects that happen across the world, you see, you have every reason to doubt that it is not heavily inflated.
All right, you mentioned 8 years. As a matter of fact, that the minister said, okay, it's not a project that will be concluded in the next 2 or 4 years. We know by constitution that this current government that came in at 2023 has only 4 years. Probably, if they contest again at 2027, who knows whether they will win or another party will take over. Does this also worry you? Because the stand is that this project will be completed in 8 years. That's on one side. Number two, Nigeria has a culture of executing or kicking off a project, but at the point it will be abandoned. Let's say a new administration would come in, for example, the East-West Road of a thing. Of course, you know what happened. Obasanjo initiated, conceived, and baited this idea. What happened to the Buhari administration, even Goodluck Jonathan's administration, on most of this project? Does it also worry you, given these instances we have established?
It does. It's a serious concern, because you can't take away history from this. Our history suggests that unless this government comes back, even when they come back, political dynamics in this country almost make it very difficult for these kind of projects to be completed in real time. I mean, as established on the agreement. Most times, the example you gave, this project of East-West Road is very important considering the communities and states it's connected. But then, lack of funding has stalled that project. Even the PDP government that lasted for 16 years couldn't complete it. Then the APC took over and they didn't even want to touch it because they didn't initiate it. So what we are going to see is this government, as you said, has 4 years, but government is a continuum. We don't want to continue to accept that unless your government finishes a project, your successors should not finish it. It's something Nigerians should demand, whether it is this government that comes after the 4 years of this one or another one. I think they should follow it up. But then, what is important, where will the money come from? Nigeria has unstable political environment, and the economy is even more volatile. The revenues of states is dwindling, and this is seriously bleeding, through corruption. So where will the money come from? All the trillions of naira Buhari government borrowed. Can you point where those, monies were invested? This is a serious investment that should have explained to Nigerians. You don't just wake up and start reading these things on newspaper. So I think the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu should at least accord Nigerians the privilege or the right to know details of this project. How did they arrive at the choice of a contractor, and how do they intend to fund it? These are very important issues. And when you go about telling people that you are going to give them compensation, there are some agreements communities sign, certain projects I said. In terms of environmental and social impact, there are some agreements the federal government has to sign with the communities affected so that we will sustainably develop through this project. If it is not sustainable, as I said, if it will have more negative impact on social and environmental lives of the people who are supposed to benefit from it, then it is not sustainable. These reviews will continue. Some organizations are already at work contacting these communities and letting them know their rights as it concerns their environmental and their social rights. If this project is going to violate those rights, some people may go to court. If it is in the best interest of the people, then they should be detailed, they should be carried along. And the lifespan of this project needs to be followed. Bigger projects are executed in shorter times at less cost. But Nigeria is a different, world altogether, where things are terribly inflated. That this amount they budgeted for this project can do this thing like times 2 elsewhere. But Nigeria is something else. As I said earlier, Nigerians should be closely following up this project. It is beyond politics. It will impact positively if it is well executed. But I have serious doubts that this company has the capacity to execute or to deliver.
All right, my colleagues are in the studio. They want to find out further information and concerns about this particular project at this point in time in Nigeria.
Yeah, good morning to you, our guest.
Good morning.
Yeah, Incorruptible Sam here. Towards the ending part of your last statement, you actually touched where I was coming from to a Nigerian that obviously doesn't understand what this project is all about. I don't know. You might not be an expert there, but can you explain further how beneficial this project is? Because someone might be asking or saying to himself now, if this is what it is, if we are spending this amount of money and we might not finish it on time, that's this current administration, why not to abandon the project? How beneficial would this be, or should we just abandon it since we have so many issues already?
if you listen to the minister, I think they have committed almost 1 million or 1 trillion already. So the investment has started. The question of abandonment doesn't arise at this point. If you talk about the benefit, I believe this project will open up these communities. If they are agrarian, they can, export or, have access to markets for their produce. It will connect more communities. It will reduce the time and cost of traveling between, states along this project line. So there are huge benefits. And remember, some critical infrastructure that will drive economic development of Nigeria. Road infrastructure is key. So you can't downplay the benefits. But the challenge is there are so many other highways that are abandoned across every geopolitical zone. You can count at least 4 federal highways that are struggling, are starved of funding. And that is why the question of how do you intend to fund this one? What is the funding plan? Is it different from the ones we have already? How is this 8-year timeline going to be achieved? If this government is unable to, get the second chance to complete this project, will the next government continue looking at, the political structure in this country? These are my concerns. As for its impact or importance, I think nobody will have any doubt that this is a very important project, and it wasn't initiated after all by this government. But they seem to, prioritize it. But in doing so, Nigerians were not carried along.
All right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Ike Obunaya. Looking at this project, I don't know. Do you see some kind of the powers that be wanting to satisfy some interest? Some regional interest, given the fact that it's going to crisscross the western part, and then of course maybe one having interest in as it were, the construction firms. Do you think that this is all done to satisfy some given interest?
There is always an interest. And if that person's interest or whoever in charge, those who have the power, if their interest aligns with the public interest, with the people's interest, that's fine. Having interest is not the problem. Many people have said, okay, you are starting from Lagos end of the project. It's always going to start from a point. So I don't have any problem with where they are starting. My problem is there are so many projects the federal government is struggling to fund. Starting one would have come with strong conviction that we can fund this one. And what happens to other ones? If you prioritize this one, how are you going to convince other people that the ones you inherited, are less important than this one you're starting now? So if people want to read political meaning into this, I think it is at their discretion. People are free to think whatever they want to think. But I strongly believe, I'm convinced that this project, if well executed, will deliver the goods it intends to, but not at any cost. This thing is outrageously costly. It is inflated. Compare it with what we have elsewhere. And when you put to question the capacity of this company to deliver this project, then there is a lot, questions that will arise from it. I'm not worried about the president's intentions. If it is to start anywhere, any part of that, the entire length of this project is within Nigerian territory. So no part is more important than the other, and it's going to start from somewhere.
All right, Udochukwu, we want to find out the way forward, because citing the economic importance of this project that you have kind of labeled this morning, when we want to kind of affiliate with the concept, okay, it's about Nigeria. Let us see what will happen. We want to find out a few things also in this regard from you, but this will be after this short break. This is Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics. Today we are looking at the controversies and benefits associated with the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project. Please stay with us, sir.
Arrive alive. Respect traffic rules. Do not drink and drive. Do not drive and drink. Every life on the road is precious. Drive safely. Be attentive and ensure your journey doesn't become a tragedy.
Stop wawawa on our roads. Nwanne m onye abịa mata na ndụ gị dị ndị abịa mkpa. Kwụsị wawawa n'okporo ụzọ anyị. Drive safely.
This message is powered by Abia State Orientation Agency.
Ozia Sinaka Abia State Orientation Agency na-abịara unu.
Beauty is power. A smile is its sword. Beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is all around us. So, if you want to look good always, visit Masters and Wands Cosmetics stores. It's new, it's exclusive, and a happening store in beauty products. We deal on perfumes and cosmetics such as body lotions, facial creams and scrubs, body sprays, powders, bath wash, and all kinds of quality cosmetics with affordable prices. Contact us at number 41 Fimbers Road, Umuahia, or number 28 School Road, Umuahia, all in Abia State. Call us on 0806 951 2773 or email us at wandsgleam@gmail.com. Masters and Wands Cosmetics Stores. Quality is our name. Signed Management.
Kabi jigwa ndị ahịa anyị niile nakwa ha n'eze n'ụlọ azụmahịa Bilos Paint akwala site n'ebe ahụ nọ burubu na gburugburu Okpara Square Umuahia. Bilos Paint nọzi na number 8 Mission Hill Umuahia n'akụkụ ọdụ ụgbọala God is Good. Mbugharị a bụ iji hụ na anyị gara ndị ahịa anyị niile nakwa ha n'eze ozi nke ọma. Imeela n'ihi nghọta gị zuru oke. Anyị ekpebiela ịgara gị ozi n'ụzọ bụ igba. Ọ bụ ndị isi ụlọ ọrụ Bilos Paint tinyere aka n'ọkwa.
Expectation and jubilation.
It is audition on Rapid Star Rise 2024. We are grateful to the following.
Honorable Anderson Akaliro, member representing Umuahia North State Constituency.
Gawai's Logistics Company Limited, number 2 Ojike Street off Bende Road, Umuahia, Abia State.
Ellis Wares, number 28 Azikiwe Road by School Road, Umuahia, Abia State. Elix, Friends of Your Wardrobe.
Onyem's Pharmacy, 21 Azikiwe Road by School Road, Umuahia. We care, God heals.
Luwani Mondok, number 27 Azikiwe Road, Umuahia, Abia State.
Rapid Star Rise. More supporters wanted.
Rapid 96.5 FM.
The sound of your city.
Let's talk politics, dynamics, and permutations.
It's a concern that we have for our country, Nigeria. So this is beyond partisan politics. Nigeria is on drip. Nigeria is on oxygen. And how can we get out of this? And these are kind of people who say they are leaders of this country. What example I may show you I'm leaders of the country?
Let's keep you abreast with happenings in the polity.
I am an employee of the president. I pay the president's salary. I pay the bills of the family. And he must protect me.
All the resources available in this country has to come together at this time to see how best we can move forward. The interest of Nigeria is part of it.
Standpoint.
Standpoint, the center of all talks of politics.
Standpoint, Mondays to Fridays, 9 a.m. on Rapid 96.5 FM.
No Nigerian is more Nigerian than any Nigerian. That's right.
Welcome back to Standpoint, the saint of all talks of politics on Rapid 96.5 FM, the sound of your city. We are live on our YouTube page at Rapid 96.5 FM as well as our Facebook page. This morning, we have been giving attention to the controversies and benefits surrounding the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project in Nigeria. We still have virtually online who has been doing analysis on this issue this morning. Of course, a public affairs analyst and executive director, State Desk for Social Development, Udo Chuku. You're welcome back to the program, sir.
Thank you.
All right, the program, of course, our phone lines are open also at this point, 09160 000965 or 09160 333 965. What do you make of this gigantic project? Is it coming at the right time? What's your own also opinion on this development. Why we still take calls 09160 0000965 or 09160 333 965. Before we let you off the microphone this morning, sir, going forward, what would you suggest in terms of achieving this project that the federal government should carry out as their own key agenda? But before we get your reaction, let us listen to this caller to know if he has a question also for you to respond to. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
This is Chima, calling from Agnesia Lamba, Limo State.
All right, Chima.
Hello?
You're welcome.
I've been listening attentively to what you are saying, but my own take in this is, considering the cost, the funding of that coaster from Calabar to Lagos now.
From Lagos to Calabar.
The little problem we are going through now, which is of more importance. I believe that because they should, to me, it's outrageous. I see that thing as outrageous. But if this money can be available, what happened to the quality of power we generate here? If they can put all our money in upgrading the electricity infrastructure of this country, look at us. We just 4,000 megawatts of a country of 2something million. Why did you say that it's not up to 100 million people? There is 120,000 mega, and we blame all this distribution company. It's the federal Nigeria should be blamed. Now they have gone to build a coaster. To me, it's another white elephant project, because this is the conduit they used to lead the economy. That's why it become another white elephant, and in spite of that, due process was not followed. It's just embarrassing, you know.
All right, Chima.
This country, to me, cars are first-class beings of this country. And that's the summary of what you are going through.
All right, Chima.
The problem what we have in this country, cars are first-class beings of this country. That's my thought. Thank you and God bless you.
All right, thank you so much, Chima. We appreciate your contribution. Good morning and welcome to Standpoint.
Good morning, Moses Ben.
You're welcome,
good morning,
sir.
Ike. Let me not forget your name.
Good morning, my brother. We'll say,
Mr. Sam.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome.
Who say man know the name? I'm calling from Umaya. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me go straight on the issue that you guys discussed before making call of the Coastal Highway, whatever project. My heart is bleeding this morning in the midst of plenty that we're in this country today. Ordinary electricity, which is supposed to be among the list of the dividend of democracy to this and true things that they call themselves the citizens of this country. We cannot see it. In Omaya here, radio stations closes around 8, 9 o'clock in the day. They remove fuel subsidy in fuel. They talked about the diesel. How are we talking about the diesel that is, as in the price of a liter of diesel now is almost 1,500 and something naira. Then you expected the person to use it to run how many hours? Ordinary power electricity. The other day they removed electricity subsidy and told us that the same thing they did in fuel subsidy. Now it was electricity, and we are not even seeing the power. This EDDC, you see them now. Anytime they give light for 30 minutes, they carry their ladder and be going. Are they not are they not inviting anarchy to this country or to themselves? Should we be folding our hands like this? A lot of things will be going wrong. Since our NLC has failed us, are we now supposed to take laws into our hands to correct some things that are not even good?
You have no guarantee. You have no right to take laws into your hands, sir. Please.
But the country has forced us to be doing so. My brother, if you consider what is going on, the governors that we are talking about, they remove something and added it to their to their security vote, to their locations. How many of us that are benefiting from whatever? Somebody will pass a road and people will be clapping. They have done where hundreds of millions of Nigerians are dying in poverty. They can't even see food. What square meal to complete a day?
All right, Usman Node, your time is up.
It's very, very unfortunate. I feel I tried for this nation today. Thank you and God bless you guys.
All right, I can see how passionate you are. Thank you so much. 09160 0000965 or 09160 333 965. A very good morning to you and thank you for joining Standpoint.
Hello, Mr. T.
Good morning, it's Moses.
Good morning, it's Vika. Good morning. Gentlemen in the studio, good morning.
Good morning, go.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is Today Johnson from Omariaga, Oboro, Ikuano, our labor autonomous community, Abia State, Nigeria, the face of the community.
All right, you're welcome.
This coastal highway project in Nigeria, is it our problem? It's not our problem we have for now. People are suffering for hunger, people are suffering for money, people are suffering for everything. Yeah, that one is not our problem. Look at electricity, look at fuel. All those things is our problem in Nigeria. We don't have light. How many months now we don't have light in Igbo not here? It's problem of electricity. We don't have money to transport to Omaya here. 500 naira. It's a scarcity of fuel. It's a fuel shortage. It's not good. It's not our problem. Let government focus for another time. Feed people, let people chop, and pay people money.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. 09160 0000965 or 09160 333 965. Let us have your opinion on these issues we have discussed this morning. You're welcome to Standpoint. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. You're welcome.
Well, Moses, I had a blessed, a comfortable sound. It's a Ike. And eventually, I guess, this for the program. Dr. Guy for it.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you. You know, it's laughable. It's laughable, but it's not funny. It doesn't sound funny. Because the press was, the needed ones, those things that the masses, the subject will benefit. It's what they will engineer, and that is what they will neglect, and not focusing on the one that will not benefit to the masses. But all the same, I think can't they invite people who can give them a scale of preference? Because we are talking about the things. If you do it, yes, we as the electorate will not benefit. Let them just do a scale of preference, and that scale of preference now will help them calculate well. Because for now, I don't know whether they have people who are now advising them. That Lagos Calabar, I think that shouldn't come in now. Don't have started funding the project or the program. So, but if we hear us, I will advise them to stop. Then again, is this the issue of what Mr. President said regard to Nigeria would have experienced a backlog, if not that he removes subsidy. Please, that is not that we are not expecting that to come out from his angle. He's supposed to be now apologizing because since up to 10 months now, getting to a year now, I think he's supposed to apologize and tune the way to cushion this problem or solve this problem. But because of he lacks the people who are advising, he lacks the people who are supposed to fit into the job. So he's supposed to now apologize and be saying that this time around that because of the removal subsidy, we have experienced a backlog. So that shouldn't be welcome from him.
All right.
So that's my own.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. We appreciate 09160 0000965 or 09160 333 965. A very good morning to you and thank you for joining Standpoint.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and location, please.
100% incorruptible, unadulterated Simon. Good morning. Good morning, all guests.
Good morning to you.
This is Ojema from Umoya North.
All right, Ojema.
I just feel like laughing because each time I look at the political administrations we have, I mean, no disrespect, but they just look like a bunch of clowns to me. It doesn't sound ludicrous that you have an educational sector that is sinking. Even you can even resurface Titanic, but the way Nigeria is going, this is the unthinkable. We are setting back to the extinct, like the dinosaur age. I mean, why would anybody want to try an insane project while ASU is going on strike? Labour is fighting. You don't want to generate this money. I mean, it's sheer wickedness. I mean, let's not hide it. This is madness. It is schizophrenia mixed with Ebola and the coronavirus to upload it. Are we thinking this country is a mad country? Expressway from the coastal to Calabar, but to go and do what? And people are starving and dying. We have over 100 people that died in River State. I haven't heard the president even tell us that he's even sorry. But they embark on projects that will make them steal the money. I mean, it's insane. Each time the EFCC recovers money, we don't hear, we put this money in this area, go and check out the Accountant General. This money has been launched into this area to fix this. No. Very soon, we will be the first country that want to go and live in Mars. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution. We appreciate it. Udochukwu, I will get back to you. Just this one call while you take the submission at once. You're welcome to Standpoint. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your name and location, please.
Ikechukwu calling from Omaya. Ikechukwu Okorochukwu.
All right, Ikechukwu.
I'm very worried about this coastal route because as we speak, Hope Uzodinma, the governor of Imo State, is almost 85% dredging of Orash Libya, which is the deepest sea in the southeast. In nature, they are building a seaport. And the study topographic nature of the south-south in that belt where there's a water breakaway. Are they going to bridge it because it will distort ship coming any southeast seaport? We do not, it's not a flaw to stop the southeast from having a seaport. You know what I'm telling you? Because if you are doing a coastal road, are you coasting it towards, you mentioned Delta, you mentioned Ataibon, you mentioned Cross River. Won't stop the national number because that coastal should have taken in and linked on a bridge. Because if you're bridging it within that water gateway, you are distorting the ship to come in. So the Southeast government should come and study that project. If it will stop the coming of ship to our seaport, then that project has no meaning. Otherwise, it should be dismantled because it will be dismantled. It cannot bridge us and lock us not to have a seaport. The one we trade in Lagos is demolished. It doesn't make sense.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes. Even comparing it, most people that have a coastal region use a waterway transport.
All right.
It's not a huge amount of money in that regard.
Okay. All right, thank you so much for your contribution. Udochukwu, thank you for your patience this morning on the program. But in 1 minute, remember the last question I asked, and then also, given what you've listened to from our callers this morning, let us have your reaction while we leave the studio.
Okay, what was your last question?
This project, it has come already. The government has initiated. Payment has been done about 1 trillion naira. What would you advise the government to do in this regard to ensure they achieve this objective? And also, your reactions given what the callers have contributed so far on the program.
Okay. Starting with how to sustainably
if you can do this in 1 minute, it will be so good of you, sir.
All right. What I'm saying, I think they need to review the cost of this project, and probably they will find enough reason to review it downwards. I think much less, even 50% or 60% of this amount will still execute it. Regarding what people have said, they have expressed their concern, and it's okay. All these concerns should be articulated and make sure that these concerns are addressed. As I said, it is a project for the people, and anybody who has concern should be listened to. If you're not living along this community, you may think it's not important, but I think those coastal communities will find it very, very important, and they have equal rights, to demand that this project be executed. And I think it will greatly impact our economy. It is not less important than other issues that is bothering us, but I think we should find a way to bring the private sector to fund it. The federal government lacks the funding. That is where I fault their funding plan. The private sector has enough money to fund it. If the process is clear and credible enough,
all right,
we'll have enough funding. But looking at how they are doing it, it will be very difficult to fund it under the budget.
All right, public affairs analyst, of course, executive director, State Desk for Social Development, Udochukwu. Thank you so much for your time on Standpoint today.
It's always my pleasure.
All right, thank you. We'll do this again. Gentlemen, Incorruptible Sam and Ike Ogbonnaya, thank you also for your time on Standpoint.
Thank you, Ben Moses.
The news is up next at 10. Thereafter, the program Security Talks will be up. Let us look at the Nigerian correctional facilities. Inmates out there, what's the problem in Nigeria? My name is Moses. Ben, good morning.
Words are powerful.